straight, boom, straight shot. Like right here, boom, there you go. But you gotta make sure you step. Bam. That's when the motherfucker trying to run out. When the motherfucker trying to run, there you go. Straight. Jab. Jab. Hook left. There you go. Then bring the hook up. Stand still. Here. Here. Move. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.
But leading up to that 9th round, man, I'm not gonna lie, man, I fell asleep like 3 times. Shakur should have been more dominant. Like, you know, Josh, I think I gave Josh probably like 1 round, maybe 2. But I think Shakur should have just been more dominant for a guy that haven't been. When you say Shakur Stevenson name, you saying Shakur Stevenson name because he's on a top level. He's a top echelon guy. He's one of our top fighters. So when we mention Shakur Stevenson, we mentioning a top 5 fighter. When you mention Gervonta Davis, you mentioning Shakur Stevenson because he has a great defense. But what we referring to is that Shakur Stevenson should have been a little bit more dominant.
Tank is the face of boxing, and he get a lot of knockouts that people kind of making it like, if you ain't doing what Tank doing, then they gonna say it's boring. Do you feel like it's because of how his style is that they kind of putting that on you, like wanting you to do that?
People is blessed with different ability. He's blessed with a God-given ability that he crack you, 9 times out of 10, you gonna go down. That's his ability.
Yeah.
I'm blessed with God-given eyes. A lot of people don't understand how good my eyes is. I can see really good. Like punches coming my way, I know how to get away from them at any given time. Our abilities are just different, so they probably are judging me from a scale of him, but at the end of the day, he's a great fighter. He's a special fighter, but I'm special in my own right too.
For years, the boxing world has looked at Shakur Stevenson and seen perfection, a fighter you can't hit, can't trick, and can't beat on points. But they've also seen something else, a lack of danger, a safety-first approach that wins belts but doesn't steal souls. That narrative effectively died the moment he touched down in Colorado Springs. He hasn't just gone into training camp for his January 31st showdown with Teofimo Lopez. He has entered a laboratory run by the most ruthless finisher in the sport. What happens when you mix the highest IQ in boxing with the meanest streak in the game? We are about to find out, and the results might be terrifying.
If Shakur is stepping to Teo, he's in trouble. Shakur is almost a perfect fighter in that setting. When Shakur's in between the shoulders, every punch is calculated, every movement is Teo's in trouble. What you have to count on is Shakur not wanting to get hit and not stepping to him. But if you step into him, that may be Teo's ass. And that's Black Two Sugars. I think Teo will be missing a lot and he'll be getting land on a lot. And the punch he lands, Shakur probably be blocking him. If the fight is looking like that and Shakur's like and stepping forward on some Lamont Road shit, I'm gonna be like, game time.
This isn't your typical training camp with flashy Instagram photo ops and fan meet and greets. Shakur has isolated himself in the thin air of Colorado Springs, effectively locking himself inside a fortress with Terence "Bud" Crawford. The choice of location is deliberate and brutal. At high altitude, your lungs burn faster. Your recovery slows down, and every round feels like 3. It's a place designed to break you mentally before you ever step into the ring. Reports coming out of the D1 facility suggest this isn't just about getting fit, it's about stripping away the comforts of celebrity life. There are no entourages here, no distractions, just 2 unbeaten kings pushing the limits of human endurance. Crawford isn't treating Shakur like a guest, he's treating him like a project. The footage leaking out shows synchronized drills that look more like military conditioning than boxing practice, proving that they are building an engine designed to drown Teofimo in deep waters.
When I'm in there with Shakur, you know, it's a chess match, you know, because Shakur is a thinking man as well. So it's definitely a chess match, and That's something that, you know, I love, he loves, because now we gotta be creative. You gotta go in that bag and be like, man, I can't do this with him because it's not gonna work. Now I gotta get more creative to get a little advantage over, because we both competitive. Neither one of us wanna let the other one get anything wrong.
You would think that two elite competitors living under one roof would be all business, but the tension in the camp has already spilled over in a bizarre, viral way. A clip recently surfaced of Shakur complaining loudly that Crawford is the biggest cheater he's ever met. But he wasn't talking about boxing. He was talking about card games.
Bud is probably one of the biggest cheaters I know. Hell of a fighter, but he's a cheater.
I played that. No, you didn't. Yes, I did.
It don't matter, they didn't go in.
They didn't make one book. That's unheard of. It's 13 books.
Hey, look, I switched it up.
Listen to me.
Yo, y'all are cheating.
You just went.
2 seconds later, you do a funny deal, bro. That's not
Why
cheating.
did you do it?
So he's one of them dudes that he gotta win by any means necessary, and he would sit there and argue with you all day until he feel like he get his win.
You say no funny dealing. You told me not to funny deal.
Oh my God! So
That's what he told me.
you funny deal?
Back in the day.
Oh, so now it's back. Now it's back in the day when I do it. It's a problem
He
with
made it illegal. He was losing the game, and he started pulling out tricks that he never done before. I never seen him do that before. When did you ever do that?
What? Admit to what? I didn't cheat. You don't even know how to play, so how you gonna say I cheated? I don't know. You fuck. I don't be cheating, bro.
Bro, everybody know you cheat, bro.
That's because all
When you
y'all always
lose,
say that shit.
soon as you start losing is when you start cheating.
She's a hater right now, so you know what I mean. Of course she gonna go over.
It sounds funny on the surface, just two brothers joking around between sessions, but if you listen closely, it reveals the exact psychological edge Crawford is trying to install in Shakur. Bud doesn't just want to win the fight, he wants to win the hand of cards, the race to the car, the argument at dinner. It's a sickness, a refusal to accept a loss in anything, no matter how small. By exposing Shakur to this level of obsessive competitiveness, Crawford is teaching him that winning isn't just about the scorecard, it's about domination. That brotherly bond is masking a very serious lesson. Nice guys finish last, even at the Uno table.
Floyd, when you think about the fighters who are fighting now, can you give me your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 when it comes to the lightweight? Who you would put where?
As of right now, the two guys, the biggest puncher, I feel at the 135 would probably be Gervonta Tank Davis. But the most skillful fighter at 135 would be hands down Shakur Stevenson.
What is it about him? Because I know you have a lot of good attributes, but do you think he has enough power to sustain?
Well, it's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level.
It's not just Crawford shaping the mind of the young champion. The ghosts of legends are lingering around this camp too. Floyd Mayweather himself has stepped into the picture. And his take on the situation is fascinating. While the casual fans scream that Shakur is boring, Floyd sees a mirror image of himself. He's gone on record calling Shakur the most skillful fighter in the game today, explicitly comparing Stevenson's current criticism to the hate he received early in his career. The narrative is shifting. With Crawford and Mayweather in his ear, Shakur is being told that the boring label is just a word people use when they can't figure out the puzzle. They are reinforcing the idea that his safety-first style isn't a weakness. It's a mastery that only the greats understand. But there's a catch. Floyd mastered the art of winning, but Crawford mastered the art of hurting people. The question is, which voice is louder in Shakur's head right now?
Going to be counted out because Shakur is looked at by and large as the guy who can dominate boxing in this generation, right? It's just a matter of him getting the opportunity. I myself have felt that he's the guy who could and should be dominating boxing if he gets the right matchups. But bro, this is one of the rare matchups, if not maybe the only matchup, where I feel like it's a big threat here to Shakur. And then it would all come undone only because of this reason. Teofimo Lopez, we've seen him at his best, but he typically brings out his best characteristics when he's back against the wall and he's counted out. And he's going to be counted out in this fight. By and large, people are going to side with Shakur in this fight to win the fight because he's the more consistent fighter, he's the more class fighter overall, and he's just so damn good. But Teofimo has a way, when you're so damn good and he knows you're so damn good and everybody feels like you're gonna beat him, there's just something about Teofimo, man. He brings out a different level and somehow supersedes that guy who is that damn good. I've seen it. We've seen it already. I'm not saying anything that anybody else hasn't already seen, okay? I'm just stipulating it. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know who wins this fight. Because again, your better head says Shakur, but then you think about, man, Teofimo, again, what I just explained.
He's got the talent to
I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Shakur is extremely talented and could be the face of boxing as far as being that good and being that dominant, even though no matter how good you are. But this is one of the rare fights where you can get beat. And I don't ever want to hear any of you tank nut huggers that he fights one Uber driver after another. If Shakur Stevenson loses this fight, I don't ever want to hear any of you saying, oh, well, what about Shakur now? Tank this, tank that. Tank fights the guy that delivers my pizza. He fights the guys in the back that are doing the production. He fights the truck driver. I don't want to hear, because he would never have gone near Teofimo Lopez in his life.
While the team in Colorado is building a perfect machine, the man waiting on the other side, Teofimo Lopez, is operating on pure chaos. Boxing insiders like Paulie Malignaggi have pointed out a terrifying trend. Teofimo is only truly great when the world thinks he's going to lose. When he's the favorite, he looks distracted and average. But when he's the underdog, that's when he becomes a monster. By isolating himself with Crawford and receiving all this high-profile praise, Shakur has inadvertently created the perfect storm for Lopez. He has made himself the golden boy, the favorite, the one destined to win. History tells us that this is exactly where Teofimo thrives. He lives for the moment where he can destroy a hype train. The system Shakur is building relies on logic and order, but Teofimo doesn't fight with logic. He fights with an explosive, erratic rhythm that doesn't care about your game plan.
That fight.
I think it's a good matchup. I think Shakur will win the fight. And yeah, I think we'll see the best of both that night.
Mm-hmm. When people do break down this fight, a lot of people take your fight with Teofimo into account. Do you think he struggles particularly, I think it's obvious that he struggles particularly like your style and Shakur, and he will struggle with Shakur's style, like based off of, I guess, of your fight?
Yeah, hopefully during training camp they learn how to cut off the ring. We'll see, I think, I don't, it's going to be hard for Teofimo to get in some punches off on Shakur, but we'll see. We'll see.
I guess asking you, being in the ring with Teofimo, was there anything that surprised you with him in terms of not the success you had, but was there anything you thought would be harder or anything that he did that you didn't expect?
No, everything, training camp went so well for that fight that everything I seen, I already expected and seen it coming.
Mm-hmm.
Sparring partners are the only people who know the truth because they've felt the punches that the cameras don't catch. Jamaine Ortiz has been in the ring with Teofimo, and his breakdown of this fight is chillingly clinical. He notes that Teofimo's biggest weakness is distance. If you stay out of his explosive range, he runs out of ideas. Ortiz is betting on Shakur because he believes Stevenson is the one guy who can control that distance for 36 minutes without making a mistake. But then you have the other side of the coin. Guys like Greg Hackett are screaming that you can't just box a guy like Lopez, you have to survive the rumble. There will be a moment in this fight, maybe in round 4, maybe in round 9, where the tactics go out the window and it becomes a street fight. Shakur has never truly been in a war where he had to bite down on his mouthpiece and trade blows to survive. Ortiz thinks the skills will win out, but Hackett is reminding us that skills vanish when you get punched in the mouth.
I feel like it's 60-40 Shakur.
60-40, why?
60-40 because Shakur mentally is a lot stronger than Teofimo Lopez mentally.
For sure.
You know what
For
I mean?
sure. Teo talking about you feel like he can get him out of there in 9. Do you feel like that's the only opportunity that he could do to get the victory is by getting him out of there and, not boxing Shakur?
I'm going to tell you this. When Teo fought Lomachenko, right? I'll tell you what it was. His strength, his speed, and his mindset, that fight was why Lomachenko was so hesitant to throw. Teo could do the same thing to Shakur, but now it's a different day. He wasn't as famous as he is now as he was back then. Back then he was more hungry. Cool. When he fought Lomachenko, he was hungry.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's been a while since he's been really hungry and been really wanting to win a fight. I think this fight could be that, but his mindset, his focus, his strength and everything, he got to bring everything to the table. And he could beat Shakur because he has the ingredients. The problem is he can't put them together. Sometimes he show up with the speed without the power. Sometimes he show up with the power without the footwork. Sometimes he show up with the footwork without the mindset. You know what I'm saying? He be in pieces. If he bring everything to the table, he'll be cool.
This matchup is ultimately a collision of two completely different philosophies. Shakur represents absolute control. Every step is calculated, every head movement is rehearsed, and every punch is thrown with the intention of not getting hit back. It's the Matrix in real life. Teofimo represents absolute disruption. He breaks rhythm, switches stances, and throws power shots from angles that shouldn't be physically possible. The experts analyzing this fight are torn because they are watching a mathematician try to solve an explosion. Crawford's job in this camp hasn't been to teach Shakur how to box. He already knows that. His job has been to teach Shakur how to handle the chaos. The drills on cutting off the ring suggest they aren't planning to run away from Teofimo. They are planning to walk him down. That is a terrifying adjustment. If Shakur stands his ground and tries to bully the bully, we are going to see a level of violence that his career has never shown before.
If it's hard to see somebody losing, it's Shakur at this point. It's hard to see him taking a loss because he has the option to move. Now, Shakur needs to tailor how he moves. But continue to use your footwork. He's going to continue to use the footwork. And having the tutelage that he has, and if Terence Crawford really retired and he can just give his boxing knowledge alone without having to worry about his next fight to Shakur, then he going to grow that much more, right? This along with Andre Ward and whatnot. So Shakur is still tailoring his game, right? And it's hard to see him losing, and you really ask yourself how he loses. When it comes to this fight, him and Teo, now listen, it's really, I got questions, man, because, even though Teo is not showing who he was against Lomachenko, right, that doesn't mean that guy isn't still there. I think he can still produce that guy, right? And if he does, he's going to pose a lot of problems for Shakur, right? So this fight can be a toss-up. Is in danger of being born if Shakur doesn't pursue the action, right? But boxers love to fight off their back foot. Whether you know it or not, we love to fight off the back foot. You press me, especially you just coming forward, example, Abraham, and you just putting your hands up, I'm going to light you up. I can do that all day. Zepeda threw a lot of punches along with him. So when it came to him, because we're able to see shots coming and know how to react off certain shots as well, the more offense you produce, the more dangerous my offense is going to be, and I produce, and I win pretty much every exchange. So we're just as awesome on the back foot as we is moving forward. No, I'm sorry. When it comes to moving forward, though, with boxers, we kind of get lost because we start looking forward to fighting off our back foot. So when you pursue the action, you got to proceed with caution because you don't want to overstep. You don't want to reach, fall in with shots. We're used to being pursued, not necessarily pursuing.
The final piece of this puzzle is the mean streak. It's the one thing you can't measure on a stat sheet. In the gym, Crawford is known for having a switch that flips where he goes from training partner to executioner. Reports from the camp suggest he is trying to install that same switch in Shakur. They are working on sitting down on punches, planting the feet to generate maximum power instead of staying light to move away. This is a risky gamble. To hit harder, you have to stay in the pocket longer. To hurt Teofimo, Shakur has to put himself in range of Teofimo's return fire. It's a high-stakes trade-off. If it works, Shakur becomes the complete fighter, a hybrid of Floyd's defense and Bud's offense. If it fails, he might just walk directly into the knockout of the year. We often think of training camps as just physical preparation, but what's happening in Colorado Springs is a fundamental rewiring of a fighter's DNA. Shakur Stevenson went up that mountain as a defensive wizard, but Terence Crawford intended for him to come down as a destroyer. The skills, the viral trash talk, the endorsement from legends, it's all building toward a pressure cooker at Madison Square Garden. We know Shakur can outthink Teofimo Lopez. We know he can outbox him, but for the first time in his life, he might actually try to break him. And that decision will either cement his legacy or give Teofimo exactly the opening he needs to shock the world once again. But we'd love to hear your predictions for this fight. Can Teofimo Lopez pull off a shocker against Shakur? Let me know in the comments. That's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.